everyone, that was a tune called Yoda. That's a tune that I wrote for one of my older sisters because she is a Jedi Master in my life. It's from an album of mine called Sun Pictures from 2013, and you've been listening to Ben Vanderwall on drums and Fabian Almazan on piano and electronics, and also the founder, director of Biophilia Records. This video was recorded here in Perth, Western Australia, where we've been for the past year or so. We're usually based in New York City, but after COVID hit the world, our tours were cancelled and we found ourselves here back in my hometown in Perth, and I also gave birth to my baby boy 5 months ago. So great to be back here with family, great to be in a place that's quite safe and virtually COVID free, and very grateful. This next song is a song I wrote called Speech Impediment. It's from my 2017 Biophilia Records album Walk Against Wind. It's a fictional story about a man who loves a woman but can't seem to tell her because he's got such a bad stuttering problem. It's dedicated to people in my life I've known with speech impediments, and it's sort of about looking beneath the exterior and thinking about what we have to offer underneath. My last album is Aventurine. It's a type of stone or a type of quartz, usually found in the color green. A lot of people mistake it for jade, but it's got this really beautiful shimmering quality people call aventurescence, which sets it apart from jade, a little bit more sparkly and shimmery. It's a collection of pieces. Some of the pieces range from works that I've been working on for 10 years or so, sort of slowly carving out where I want things to go and what the main ideas are, to other pieces that were relatively recent and were composed not too long before the recording session. The album features Matt Mitchell on piano, Greg Ward on alto and soprano saxophone, Chess Smith on drums, string quartet with Sarah Caswell and Feng Chen Hui on violin, Benny von Goodside on viola, and Jeremy Harmon on cello. And for some of the album I also feature a fantastic choir called Invenio, which is led by Gian Slater from Melbourne, Australia, who is also a Biophilia Records artist and came out with an album earlier this year. All these songs, they sort of represent creativity and evolution, which is what the stone of Aventurine represents as well. Some pieces have been sort of a slow burn. I've been working on them since basically about a decade ago, just sort of slowly carving out the essence of each one, and a few of them were sort of relatively recent, so it kind of symbolizes my evolution of actually writing for string quartet and this particular group as well. We recorded this at Avatar Studios in New York City, so yeah, it was kind of, I'm pretty sure it was the last recording that was recorded there at Avatar as we know it. It's now Power Station, but yeah, Avatar is such an amazing studio, and I'm very grateful to have been able to record my album there with the wonderful James Farber engineering the session, who's a complete genius when it comes to engineering. We've had the opportunity to play this music around the world in its entirety with the choir in Melbourne at the Melbourne Jazz Festival a couple of years back before the pandemic hit, and yeah, we've played it in various different cities around the world and configurations. Some of the pieces on this album include Kirigami, which is the Japanese art of folding and cutting paper, as opposed to origami. That has been one of the slow burn pieces. You know, I think sometimes with composition we tend to go a little bit overboard sometimes and just keep going and going, and then I came to a point with this piece that what I needed to do was sort of like pare it down, pare it back, so that's why it's called Kirigami. Other pieces include an arrangement of Charlie Parker's Au Prévave, sort of an eclectic one. You may not actually hear explicitly the theme. You'll hear an arrangement of Deep Sea Dances, which is something that I wrote for a dear friend of mine, Izumi Uchida. You'll also find that song on my 2017 album, Walk Against Wind. Other tracks include Rest Your Weary Head Part 1 and Part 2, which allows for a bit more breathing room for some of the vocalists and some improvisation of the whole collective group. Well, I'm very excited to start playing live concerts and touring again. Here in Perth, we've been very lucky to have been able to still continue playing and seeing live music, sometimes with reduced capacity, but we've been quite lucky. We have some tours set up in the fall with my group, my quartet, in Finland, in the Netherlands, in the UK, in Italy, and we're going to attempt to take our little baby boy. So I'm excited about that. I'll be doing some touring with Vijay Iyer, as well as some tours with Pat Metheny. So just fingers crossed that you know, the situation improves worldwide with COVID. I'm excited about getting to see more live shows. I'm excited to hear what the younger generation comes up with, you know, through this pandemic. I think there's so much amazing music being created by younger musicians, younger artists, younger composers. I think something very special is going to come out of this, you know, particularly those who are sort of finding their voice and sort of doing their studying right now and trying to emerge. So we'll see what happens. I've been checking out a lot of Maria Schneider's work. I've had the opportunity to study with her. And pre-pandemic, I was supposed to start lessons, batar lessons with the great Roman Diaz, Cuban percussionist, but we haven't been able to actually meet in person, so I look forward to that when we get back home to New York. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what art gets created out of this pandemic. I was speaking to a friend of mine whose sister is a film director, and they've crafted their whole script and everything about the movie sort of around these COVID restrictions, you know, which led to sort of paring down everything, you know, to accommodate for being able to socially distance and all of that. And I think sometimes parameters actually help us come up with interesting and creative stories and methods of telling those stories. It's really hard to narrow down to 3 people, but I could tell you some people that I'd love to meet and hang out with and have a meal with. 2 people in particular I can think of is my grandfather and my great-grandfather. I've heard that they were both pretty incredible people. My great-grandfather was basically commissioned to come from China to Malaysia to sculpt in a temple called Kek Lok Si in Penang, Malaysia. And if you go into that temple, you'll see these beautiful gold sculptures, gold Buddhas, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And that was my great-grandfather's work. My grandfather was also an incredible person who I never had the chance to meet, so I'd love to get to know both of them. So some other people I'd love to have a meal with, probably Bjork, I'm a big fan of Saturday Night Live, and I'd love to meet Maya Rudolph and Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon. I know that's more than 3 people, but hey, I think I'm allowed to do that right now. And I'd love to meet Ali Wong, as well as Aquafina. So yeah, why not make it a party? Well, it's cathartic. It's a source of release. It's a way of self-expression. I love playing with people. I love the idea of improvising and thinking of things on the fly and figuring out how to make things work with other people. I like the non-verbal element of sort of this intangible feeling of emotion and direction when we're playing music with people, and it's something that, you know, yeah, it's really hard to put into words sometimes, and to communicate without having to use words is something that I love. Well, I've just had a little baby boy, so my mind has been quite sleep deprived lately, but I will say that I'm looking forward to what's to come post-pandemic. I still hope for a lot of things in the future. I've really been thinking a lot about what kind of world I want my son to live in as he grows up. I really hope for his generation that things aren't so bad, you know, in regards to climate change, in regards to affordable education, affordable healthcare, gun reform, all of that. So yeah, hoping for some positive change. Yeah, there have been quite a few pivotal albums for me. As a bass player, I have to sort of say Jaco Pastorius, his debut album. Listening to Oscar Peterson's Night Train for the first time was when I heard Ray Brown for the first time. Listening to Michel Andeguicello's Plantation Lullabies, those are some pivotal albums for me. Yeah, starting to listen and play jazz here in Perth, and then also moving to New York City, where I learned a lot. I learned a lot from my peers, from people I was studying with, to people I was playing with on gigs. Yeah, sort of general pivotal moments, but pivotal nonetheless. Well, I would say be grateful for the time that you have. I mean, I feel that I have been in the past, but I look back and I think of times when I thought that I was so busy and I never had any time, and now that I have a child, I realize that, okay, now I really don't have any time. And even now I'm trying to be grateful for the time that I do have. I spoke to my cousin here in Perth who's got 2 children. Shout out to Stefan O and Kat O, who are amazing people. And he was just saying how once he had his second kid, he realized just how much time he had when he only had 1 kid. So I don't know, just being grateful and just trying to see the bigger picture. I would say that that's a tricky one because I don't like to think of most things that I'm doing as work necessarily. Like, I like to say that we don't have to do anything, you know. And often when we think of work, it's like, oh, we have to do some work. I like to think that, well, we want to do the work so that we'll I don't know, be a better player, or we'll lead a fulfilling life, or be able to sort of express this musical idea in the way that we want to do it. So it's tricky. I feel like sometimes I do need to sort of compartmentalize and take breaks as well, you know, be able to just completely step in another zone where I'm not really thinking about music at all, not listening to music, and then come back with a fresher mind. So I guess that helps as well. But I like the idea of not having to do anything but we choose to do the things that we do because we know it's going to help us in the bigger picture with what we want in life. What is my favorite animal? So shout out to my 7-year-old niece Imani one day. She's awesome, and her question is, what is your favorite animal? And I would have to say a sloth. I think they're so gorgeous, they're so adorable, the way they're so serene, they move so slowly, and I think they get a bit of a bad rap. Like, the word sloth people think is of someone as lazy, dirty, you know, but they're just so wonderful and beautiful, and poor things are so endangered because they're so slow, yeah, I think they're amazing.
It's in the humble things that I feel you. It's in the smallest ways that I remember when I'm standing outside the liquor store waiting for the summer rain to fade. It's in a passing phrase that I hear you. It's in a stranger's gaze that I remember. Oh, didn't you once say no sound ever truly dies away? I can't let you go, can't let you go, can't let you go. Don't ask me to. It's in the moments lost that I find you. It's every waking hour that I love you. You take me by the hand, feel the colors in where I saw gray. And even knowing how it ended, I'd do it all again. 'Cause I remember you'd say, girl, you're so wild, and hold me till my fears would dissipate. I can't let you go, can't let you go, can't let you go. Don't ask me to. Can't let you go, can't let you go, can't let you go, It's in the honesty of my sorrow. And though I sit alone, I hold you with me. I'm taken in this sunrise, so beautiful if you could only see. Summer in this dusty town, the weeds grow high. Dandelions push up between a million asphalt fold lines. I'll put on my dancing dress and we'll go out one last time, where the one you love the best, and we'll pretend we're just fine. I've collected joys and sorrows of our love. Pack them in a suitcase, drag them round wherever I go. Use them as a rampart, keep the world at bay. Use them as a window looking out on fields where we lay. Put out the fire for my desire. Fire for my desire. 'Cause now that you come back, our love is gone. Your satellite travels through the night alone. Where do you belong? It's 2 a.m., you're drunk, you call from down the block. Say you need some company, and so I throw my coat on. I won't bother asking why you're here tonight. You will leave me empty-handed and alone by the sunlight. Put out the fire of my desire. Fire for my desire. 'Cause now that you come back, our love is gone. Your satellite travels the night alone. Yeah, now that you come back, our love is gone. Your satellite travels the night alone. love, be love, be love.
The songs that we recorded were two songs that have never been previously recorded. And they're like relatively new songs within the last like 3 years. And because it's kind of, we've been up here alone in COVID and stuff, it seemed like rather than try to get a whole band together, I would just play them by myself and see how it went. Right, Jasper? The video was filmed here in Semperviren Studios, which is our home studio. The next album that I'll be putting out is called Asphodel, which is something that we fundraised using Kickstarter funds, and we are finishing the process of mixing and mastering, and very excited. And our invisible friend here, who has a name, his name is Stephen Long, it is on that record, and he also just happens to be here right now. Okay, that's probably not usable. Whatever I just said, would you like to make a musical interjection? Oh, I'm kind of living in like a baby void.
A baby surplus.
No, a baby no, a void. I think he's pooping. Oh, honey. Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
The interviewer is now holding the baby.
What artistic musical things excite you these days, and why? What was the question?
What I was saying was that it's. I actually have to admit that I've been living in a bit of a void, or feeling very separate since COVID has happened, and we had a baby, and so I'm kind of living in babyland. I haven't been absorbing a lot of.
Shout out to Will Graves' new record, though.
Oh yeah, shout out to Will Graves' new record. That was great. So actually, maybe the music of my friends, and also the music that people have been managing to make over the past year in COVID time is pretty impressive, and there's been a lot of like creative collaborations and interesting ways of making music that we never would have dreamed of. So in general, there's been a lot of interesting ways of music making that have occurred. Oh my god, that's a really hard question. I have to like think about that a lot. King Tut.
It's what, like the most awkward dinner.
Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc being a psychopath.
Snoop Dogg.
Out of his mind, and a dinosaur.
There.
And then the
Actually,
dinosaur would just eat us all for dinner.
Exactly.
That would be the dinner.
Yeah.
Why do you play music?
Why do I play music? Because I can't help myself. Is this baby hungry? Does this baby's diaper need to be changed? Why won't this baby sleep? Oh God, I'm so tired.
That deserves a squiggle.
Why won't this baby sleep? I'm so very tired. I'm having auditory hallucinations because of sleep deprivation.
That's beautiful.
Don't take shit so seriously. If we need an edited version, don't take things so seriously. Be lighthearted. Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy was really great. It also maybe scarred me for life.
We were just talking about showing him Ren and Stimpy. And then I was like...
You gotta be careful.
Some of it's really bad.
Some of my first,
Remember the one
most
with the
traumatic...
log cutting?
No.
Some of my most traumatic early memories are like nightmares I had related to Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
And yet, it might be my favorite cartoon.
No F's given by our parents as far as content shown.
No, my dad exclusively had me watch cartoons that he thought were worth his time. Because he had to watch them, too.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let me watch Scooby-Doo because he thought the plot was too predictable.
That's amazing.
Shout out grandparents again.
Shout out, Grandpa. Idea to performance. Well, my focus is always, like, almost exclusively on how excited I am about writing a song or a piece of music or making an arrangement. And then afterwards, after I've put all the little pieces together, whether it's words or an arrangement or the music itself, then I think about, you know, the performance of it, to me, was always super secondary. And so I'm getting better at actually, you know, thinking of the performance of the thing is very important, and thinking about that as an end product too.
What is your favorite animal? Fabian's 7-year-old niece wants to know.
I mean, shout out to the axolotl, a magical Mexican cave-dwelling aquatic salamander that has sort of looks like it's wearing a beautiful hat. And any sloth. I don't even need to be more specific. Just, you know. You know what I mean. Sloths are amazing. Why was I so much more ready to answer that than 3 people in history that I could have dinner with, or pivotal moments in my musical life?
Do you have any final thoughts for anybody about anything?
Of my life?
I don't know.
What are your final thoughts? I'm very grateful to have been given motivation to, and given an opportunity to make some music to share. It's the best thing in the world to be able to do. So thank you, Fabian, and thank you, Biophilia, for giving us a platform to share music with everybody. It's like, you know, the most wonderful thing in the world, and thanks.
Tell nobody where I'm from. Mystery suspended in the air hung. Do you know what I'm thinking? No, you don't. If you listen closely, you will know. Ah. don't. If you listen closely, you will know. Was it ever something you could hold? You could try, but you have to know. Riverbeds of nothingness will flow right by your eyes and then let you go. What you know about me? What you know? What you know about me? This translucent body. Is nothing but a haunting illusion. I could be so clearly. You'd be so easy. Isn't this part of being human? translucent body. Isn't this part of being human? I could see easier said than done. Oh, surrender, surrender, surrender. Surrender is easier said than done. Oh, surrender. Surrender.
Bye.